Have you ever found yourself making impulsive purchases only to regret them later? Well, you're not alone. In this video, I'll be sharing some powerful insights and strategies that have helped me break free from the grip of impulse buying and regain control of my finances. Trust me, this knowledge has transformed the way I manage my money. This isn't a video telling you what to do, but rather one that highlights what's worked for me, and I thought it might be useful for anyone else out there that's looking to take control of their finances and not their finances take control of them. I've broken what I've done into 6 key areas, and they are 1. Planning, 2. Budgeting, 3. Every dollar, 4. Buying, add value or bring joy, 5. Avoiding comparisons, 6. Investing, you and others. Let's kick things off with a fundamental part of financial management planning. It's often said that failing to plan is planning to fail, right? And when it comes to your finances, this couldn't be truer. Planning isn't just about creating a budget, it's about setting a roadmap for your financial journey. And here's why it was so essential for me. Having a financial plan is what I refer to as my financial foundation. This is where it all starts. It gives me direction and purpose. It's my blueprint for achieving my financial goals. Whether that's saving for a holiday, buying a home, or preparing for retirement. Without a plan, it's easy for me to drift into impulse spending, and that's where the trouble would begin. A few years ago, I found myself having to shut down my surfboard business with my business partner and good friend. I didn't manage my tax returns correctly and was in a bucket load of tax and personal debt. I had no plan, no financial education, and was literally just trying to get by. And I found myself spending all of my money on items or materialistic stuff that I thought would make me feel better. It never did. And it was at this time that I started to learn about personal finance. 8 years on and I'm earning over 100k a year, no consumer debt, an investment property, and a clear plan for my financial future. And I've done this as a single dad, all on one income while paying child support. So if I can do this, so can you. First, I assessed my current financial situation, calculated my income, expenses, and debts to get a clear picture. Next, I set my specific financial goals. What debt needed to pay off first, and what am I saving for? And these were getting rid of all consumer debt, having an emergency fund, having extra savings to buy a property, kids' birthdays, etc., etc. So having concrete objectives gave my plan purpose. Then I created a budget that allocated my income to cover my needs, savings, pay off debt, and a bit of fun money for when I had the impulse for spending. And for those that have kids, know just how hard it can be to calculate their expenses. One week they might want new shoes, the next week they might want to go out to dinner with their friends. So planning for these and explaining this to my kids and giving them a little bit of pocket money to allow them to save too was key. Finally, I tracked my expenses right down to every single dollar spent. Tools like budgeting apps or spreadsheets that I could access from my phone helped me stay on top of my spending. So I had my plan. Now I needed to apply an important aspect of it, budgeting. First, let's clarify the distinction between planning and budgeting. Planning is the vision. It sets your goals, dreams, and aspirations. Budgeting is my practical blueprint that translates those dreams into actionable steps. Budgeting is where I allocate all my financial resources strategically to bring my financial plan to life. Now let's break down the process of how I created my budget into manageable steps. I began by conducting a thorough assessment of my financial situation. What is my income, my monthly expenses, and my outstanding debts? Next, I set my financial goals, both short-term and long-term. These goals are my guide that have navigated my budgeting journey, and these were: number 1, pay off all consumer debt. 2 was build a 6-month emergency fund. 3 was save to buy for a house, and 4 was invest for retirement. With my goals in mind, I crafted a budget that allocated my income with precision, ensuring that it covers my essential needs, sets aside saving for my goals, pays down the debt that I had, and leaves a portion for impulse spending. Always remember that a budget is not a static document. It has to evolve as your financial circumstances change. Lastly, by committing to tracking my expenses diligently, this kept me accountable and helped me stay on course. So I've shown you how I've set my foundations with planning and budgeting, but now I want to explain how I give purpose to every dollar I earn. Imagine each dollar you earn is like a tiny little worker, ready to help you towards your financial goals. But they need a mission and purpose to be effective. Assigning each dollar a purpose means making sure every bit of my income has a job to do, whether it's paying bills, paying down debt, topping up my savings, or even treating myself or the kids. When every dollar is spoken for, there's no room for random impulsive spending. Your money knows its mission and its focus. For instance, say you allocate a portion of your income to fund money. That's your guilt-free spending zone, and it helps you satisfy those spontaneous cravings without derailing your financial plan. But remember, not all dollars are created equal. Prioritizing needs over wants is key. Your rent, mortgage, and household expenses deserve a top spot on your priority list. Splurging on a new gadget, well, that's lower down the list. This approach helps you balance responsible spending with a touch of indulgence. Now, the art of buying with purpose and value. It's not just about spending, it's about making every dollar count. Here's the deal, spending isn't your enemy. It's how we spend that matters. Buying items that add value to my life is like investing in myself. These are the things that enhance my well-being, make my life easier, or bring me genuine joy. It's about quality over quantity. To give you an understanding of what I mean, a while back I invested in a high quality camera to film my YouTube videos. That significantly improved my work efficiency because the quality of the camera means I hardly have to do much when I go to edit. Another time I decided to buy a surfboard because it aligned with my passion for surfing. Both of these purchases added tremendous value to my life. One was for productivity and the other was for mental wellness. One of the keys to avoid impulse buying is discerning between short-term desires and long-term value. I would ask myself, will this purchase still matter to me a month, a year, or even a decade from now? If the answer is yes, then it's likely a valuable investment. If no, then I wouldn't buy it. So here's the takeaway. Before you swipe that card or hit buy, pause and reflect. Is this purchase aligned with my values and long-term goals? Making thoughtful spending choices not only helps me avoid buyer's remorse, but has also brought a sense of purpose to my financial journey. Now I had to tackle a sneaky spending trap that many of us fall into, the comparison game. We live in a world of constant comparison, especially in the age of social media. It's easy to feel like you need to match someone else's spending to measure up. But here's the truth. Your financial journey is unique, and what works for someone else might not work for you. So for me to break free from the comparison trap, I started by setting clear financial goals and priorities based on my values and needs, not someone else's. I limited my exposure to flashy spending displays on social media. By focusing on my personal financial goals rather than comparing myself to others, I was able to regain control over my spending decisions. You'll find that your financial satisfaction doesn't come from trying to keep up with someone else's lifestyle, but from achieving your own milestones. So here's the bottom line. Embrace your unique financial journey. It's not about keeping score with others. It's about building a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. By doing so, you'll find a sense of fulfillment and financial peace that no amount of impulse buying can provide. Last but definitely not least is the area of responsible spending. Investing in your own strengths through self-education. This not only furthers your opportunities, but gives you the ability to empower others to succeed. This is about finding fulfillment by paying it forward. Imagine your talents and skills as valuable assets, not just for yourself, but for those around you. When I started to invest in my strengths, I was not just spending money, I was purposely building a resource that I felt could change lives. This approach isn't solely about improving myself. It's about becoming a catalyst for the success of others. Consider this, when you invest in improving your skills, such as mentoring, writing, coaching, or sharing your knowledge, you're not just benefiting yourself, you're helping others climb their own mountains of success. These acts of support often yield a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing you've contributed to someone else's growth. I was able to reflect on my own unique strengths and talents and figure out how can I leverage these skills to make a positive impact on other lives. By directing my money into nurturing my abilities, I was not only enhancing my own capabilities, but also creating a ripple effect for people around me. I feel that true fulfillment often arises from using my strengths to empower others. It's not just about what I can achieve, but what I can help others achieve. By investing my own skills and using them to lift others up, I discovered a profound sense of contentment that goes beyond any impulse purchase.